Hello again. This is not a foolish question. Well, rather, it is a foolish question, but not one that I would have thought of asking myself. I was wondering what viewers thought Robert Louis Stevenson's novel Kidnapped might be about. Did anybody guess that it might have had something to do with an abduction or kidnapping? This means, from all that I'm able to apprehend, that viewers of this channel have, on the whole, sharper wits than many modern university students. I say this because Aberdeen University, worried presumably about the woeful lack of knowledge of its students when it comes to English literature, have been attaching trigger warnings to books which contain scenes of a disturbing nature. For Kidnapped, they warn that it features kidnapping, just in case their students have never come across the book before and the title doesn't give them a sufficient clue. All this is, I suppose, because the staff are following guidelines which warn verge on the side of caution and don't shy away from providing warnings about what may be considered obvious. So even if a well-known book is called Kidnapped, it's just as well to let students know before they open it that it's about kidnapping. Here's another question. Is there a single viewer who is unaware that Charles Dickens' novel A Tale of Two Cities has a guillotine in it? Even those who haven't read it probably know about Sidney Carton's famous line before he goes to the guillotine. It is a far, far better thing which I do now. Nonetheless, this book too comes with a warning that it contains scene of violence, execution, and death. Yes, the French Revolution was a bit like that, it is true. What about Jane Austen? Surely nothing in her novel to upset even the most delicate and maidenly modest of students. You fools, have any of you ever read Persuasion? As the trigger warning rightly advises, it contains a romanticised notion of military service in the Napoleonic Wars. I find all this tremendously enjoyable, but then when I was a child, my parents believed that nothing should be off limits, and I had the free run of the adult library from the age of 10. Evidently, today's students lead more sheltered lives. Mind, Aberdeen University is skating a little close to the wind, even mentioning warnings. They refer to content warnings because the very phrase trigger warning can be, well, triggering. At Warwick, they're not even mentioning the word warning now. They talk of content notes, just in case any of the undergraduates wet themselves or have seizures when they come across the expression warning. One wonders how these young adults manage when they're browsing in a bookshop or library. Do you think that they ever get a book out called Persuasion under the mistaken impression that it's a self-help manual, something a bit like How to Win Friends and Influence People? Then when they get it home, they unexpectedly come across a romanticised notion of military service in the Napoleonic Wars, and they're so upset they have to go and lie down or ring their mum or something. It's a chilling thought. Aberdeen have a long list of things which might upset students, including depictions of poverty, which I suppose covers all Dickens novels. The university says that it is important that students are exposed to challenging material, but we have a duty to support them to engage with it. I am bound to say that if a 20-year-old needs support in order to read Jane Austen, then I doubt that university is really the right place for this person. Such delicate souls might be better off joining the Brownies or something, where they'll find a safer and more welcoming environment without the danger of coming across such disturbing things as depictions of poverty or romanticised notions about the Napoleonic Wars. As usual, I provide links in the description to this video about this business, but it does make me slightly worried when I wonder how these youngsters are going to cope with real life. Because, as I say, even a walking round the library or a bookshop would probably be enough to send them over the edge.